Candid Truth.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us at Candid Truth. We're going to talk about the truth, then we're going to get candid with it. 2025 continues to be the strangest year ever, and it's only May. I mean, we've had a pope die and the first ever American pope be elected. We've had Trump saying that he's the king of Babylon and going to run a third term, and basically he can write any religious law he wants to under Project 2025. This is the year that the occult has been saying is very prophetic. We're going into the age of Aquarius, the golden age, and that there's going to be an externalization of the hierarchy. And we're seeing UFOs everywhere. That's the externalization. I mean, this is crazy. We're only 5 months in. So science has now turned lead into gold. This is alchemy. If you don't know what alchemy is, it's science and sorcery. This goes way back to medieval times. Like the first time I really heard of it was that anime, Full Metal Alchemist. And that's when I looked into it. But this is all the news right now is talking about this. That scientists have turned lead into gold. What do you think about that?
Very symbolic in the occult. Lots of meaning there, which I want to dive into. But we're going to have to go a little deeper in just a minute. All
right, let's check this out. So this is all like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I mean, this is brand new stuff here.
Yeah. So obviously the articles that are coming out, they clearly state that this happened all at CERN, that they created that piece of gold for a split second in their machines. And we're going to be diving into that a little more too about CERN. But
CERN.
Let's go to the next slide if we can. So as you know, this may or may not have a very obvious connection to you. I mean, it occurred to you that there's a connection, but we have this happening. So they made gold, and we have Trump. Ever since we have seen him come on the scene, he has toted bringing about the golden age. So let's go ahead and hear him say it, just for proof.
Of course. Yeah. You guys probably aren't hearing that clip. Maybe they are.
First.
Okay. So it's not the first time. It's not the last time. It's just been bombarding our systems everywhere we go that we're hearing that.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
Man, this is going to be one we got to edit on the back end here. No sound. Let's see.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
And just due to my own pet peeve, I don't want that toolbar at the bottom, so we're going to listen to it again.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
America first.
Yeah.
Like Babylon.
Yes, and we're hearing it everywhere. So the golden age is coming.
Yeah, the golden age
is upon us, if you will.
So when you look into that golden age, we've talked about it. Check out our other videos. Go into the live tab. Look at the different videos. We've talked about the golden egg, the golden age, Trump, all this stuff. The golden age is an esoteric term for the age of Aquarius, where we're going to enter into this new plane of existence where we're all like reaching Christ consciousness. We're all like enlightened. It's all about like this Illuminati thing, you know, we're all want to be enlightened and everything. It's really when Satan is going to come and demons and externalization of the hierarchy. That's what it's all about. Is like
Yes.
the merging of the spirit world and the physical world, the age of Aquarius.
Yes, and to divulge some of that more based on facts, we're going to get to that. So we have to explain what the meaning of the Golden Age is. Just to make sure it lines up, it means it often denotes a period of peace, harmony, and prosperity, just as he's claiming. It also can refer to a mythical primordial age where people lived in abundance without labor. So even, I believe it's Helen Blavatsky or Alice Bailey believed that there were different, the first race, the second race, so on.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this was supposed to be one of the first races or ages where this was already accomplished, and we're trying to get back to that.
Yeah, we talked about that on a video with Franz, and it was, you have to check it out, Aaron Franz, but it was talking about that there was a time period when all men were made out of lead or some kind of gray
We're
steel.
getting there.
Is going to go into that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun here.
Yep, he is. So we just have to go into this and see what's going on. The connection is consistent with the deeper themes and goals of occult secret societies, mystery religions, and the great work, or magnum opus of alchemy. The claim of transmuting lead into gold, whether literal or symbolic, is at the heart of occult traditions, and it parallels the spiritual transformation from base man into God man. Man being hatched out of his golden egg into a golden era of self-godhood. This is what ancient mystery schools, the Anunnaki mythos, modern occultists, and some elite Luciferian groups all seek. It's often tied to ritual abuse, blood sacrifice, and sex magic, like Hyros Gamos as the means to ascension. So that's a lot. I know it is, but we do have a lot of threads to connect tonight to see the full picture. So we have Trump saying this. They've created gold. And now we have the understanding that to create this gold, unfortunately, there is a lot of the ritual abuse and blood sacrifice and bloodshed that needs to happen in their mindset. But the goal through that is to be enlightened as a man from lead to spiritual gold. All right? So stick with me. Next step. First, we're going to understand as well the great work. It is a term used in various contexts, most notably in Hermeticism, alchemy, and Thelema.
Thelema, if you don't know, this is what Aleister Crowley wrote, this book of the law, Thelema. It's do what thou wilt. That's what all this stuff is. And it's sex magic with a K. Yes,
it is. And it refers to a spiritual process of self-transformation and transcendence. All right? If you jump down below, in the context of alchemy, the great work, or magnum opus, refers to the process of transforming base metals, particularly lead, into gold.
So what's interesting, look, in the search bar, you see it's just the great work. There's no context, no like in alchemy or anything. You just type the great work and it's going to show up this alchemy, Thelema, Hermeticism, and notice the words, the great work. What does Trump always say? Let's make America great again. It's all about this great, right? And we know from other videos, MAGA, Make America Great Again, equals a sorcerer. If you go to the Google Translator and you put it in Latin and actually many other languages, a magi or a mage or a MAGA is a sorcerer. And alchemy is sorcery. So all of this is coming together. The fact that science now in 2025 has made lead into gold, and it's alchemy, and it's under the MAGA presidency, and Make America Great Again, the great work, the golden age. Look, Trump was saying the golden age months ago. This just happened. Remember, the news article said that all this happened like 2 days ago. So I don't believe this is just coincidence. I think this is all part of the plan.
All right. And the thing that's going to shock most of us, I believe, is, before we get to this, is that how they're supposed to accomplish it a little deeper, and what full result they're looking to achieve through this. Because if this doesn't explain kind of why the world is what it is and why you wondered why there's so much, I'll just say, junk, bad things in the world, this should pretty much spell it out for us. And I will try to explain a little more as we go. But as we go on to connecting these dots, we mentioned all these things and we got to the egg. Now let's look at the actual cosmic egg in the occult. We have this egg, and it is the union of the opposites. This is female and male in one being called the rebus. We have covered this in the cosmic egg episode, so go look at that a little further. But this also pretty much brings dark and light. That's why the sun and the moon, you have all these different elements happening.
The compass, the square and compass.
Right. Basically, it's making all differences disappear so that there's one union of everything.
Yep. Notice all those 6-pointed hexagrams floating around with these male and female symbols, and I think that's Mars and Venus. And in the middle, between the two, up here, you'll see this symbol, which is a merging of male and female. This is Mercury, if I'm thinking properly. The symbol for the planet Mercury is this combining, this transgenderism thing that's going on, transhumanism.
That's right. Okay. So just to prove to you guys, again, we covered this further in the other episode on this, but these are bunches of different cultures that have stories of the cosmic egg and how world mythology got started. So you have the Pelasgian, the Finnish, Persian, Slavic, Chinese, Egyptian, Polynesian, Greek, Hindu, Dogon, Japanese, and Bantu alone are represented there. And how they say all of the world got started out of an egg.
Yeah.
So it must not just be the occult idea. It must be that this is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the occult, is covering a worldwide occult belief. Now, it's crazy because all of our videos are just tying into what 2025 is pushing. The KFC golden egg. If you watch the golden egg episode, you'll see more about this whole thing. But there's this guy right now named Chris Bledsoe. He's a self-professed Christian, outspoken Christian, who had an alien encounter, and he says these are good angels because they healed him. So he's saying because these supernatural beings healed him, there's no way they could be evil, no way they could be bad. And he says that he sees a woman named Hathor, which this is an Egyptian goddess. He says that he sees her every Easter. And what is Easter based on? Easter's got the eggs, right? The fertility goddess. And Hathor, when you look at where she comes from, her origins, she fell to earth or came to earth in an egg and fell into a river. Now, look at the Blue Origin thing with Katy Perry and some of these other ladies, that there was this whole divine feminine fake act. The whole thing was fake, but the ritual where they're ringing the bells and all this stuff, they were invoking Maat, M-A-A-T, another Egyptian goddess who came to earth in an egg, in a river. It's the same goddess. It's Satan repackaged himself in different ways to different cultures. And why now in 2025 are we trying to invoke this female spirit, this female goddess from this egg? This is going on right now.
Okay. Yes. So that's a little short background. Now a little bit back to where we're going. Next slide, please.
Okay.
All right. So we need to understand a little more about this. So we're going to read straight from where it's coming from. Alchemy, lead to gold. In occultism, lead represents base human nature, carnal, ignorant, and fallen. Gold symbolizes divinized man, illumined, awakened and godlike.
Interestingly, Trump is now divine. When he got into office, they inaugurated him underneath that. I can't remember the terminology, but yeah, apotheosis of Washington, which literally means
George Washington,
to make a god. And they did that to Washington, and now Trump is like the first person to get inaugurated underneath there. Well, somebody did a long time ago, but it's not normal.
Right. Okay. And we covered that also in a different episode. But continuing on, the great work, or magnum opus, is not just chemical but spiritual. It's to become as gods. Alchemists like Paracelsus, and Newton, yes, the physicist, and Rosicrucians used esoteric symbolism for internal transformation, what we'd call Luciferian enlightenment. All right, there's also the Anunnaki, who had an ancient agenda. In ancient Mesopotamian texts, the Anunnaki were gods, likely fallen angels or Nephilim, who claimed to have created man as a slave race, brought forbidden knowledge such as technology, weaponry, and sorcery, and desired immortality and eternal rule over mankind. Their agenda aligns with Genesis 6, Enoch, and post-flood mystery religions, pushing humanity towards transhumanist godhood and rejecting the creator.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
That brings it a little closer.
That's what this rebus thing was, the two people that were pushed together and the symbol above it. That's all that is about transhumanism. Aubrey did a show. You need to check it out. It's under the live tab. It's called Dark Origins of Androgyny. It goes way deep into it's like 3 hours long, possibly longer. And it's so deep about how these occultists believe to reach the highest state of enlightenment, you have to become non-binary, basically. And it's all this is going together with transgender, transhuman, golden age, all this stuff. It's crazy how it's all coming together.
Yes. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into this union they call the sacred marriage, or hieros gamos. It's an ancient ritual of divine union, often reenacted in secret societies. Symbolizes the fusion of opposites, male and female, heaven and earth, spiritual and physical.
That's what the checkerboard floor is all about with the Freemasons too.
Okay, interesting. In elite occult circles, this becomes dark sex magic, often ritualized with trauma, abuse, or sacrifice to channel spiritual power. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, that is where it centers around quite a lot. This is according to Aleister Crowley's Thelema and the OTO, the Order of the something. I don't remember what that means, but this practice is deeply encoded into elite esoteric systems, Freemasonry, Jesuits, mystery schools. I know for a fact that is true. And also satanic sacrifice and abuse. We need to look into this. There are many testimonies, such as whistleblowers and survivors, and symbolic evidence from high societies that indicate that ritual child abuse is not random. It's a deliberate ancient rite. So if this is your first time hearing that, please, unfortunately, you need to understand this gruesome fact. It's true. It's deliberate, and it's an ancient rite. Trauma, why they use trauma is it's supposed to open up portals that splits the soul and enables spirit possession or programming. And yes, blood rituals and abuse are believed by occultists to feed spiritual beings, demons, and empower the magician. This is all why we have this. And if I can speak on it for a moment, this is why they have, I've heard, I guess, let's backtrack. I've heard a lot of people, and I feel the same. Why can't they just stop all of trafficking, sex trafficking even? Porn sites. Why can't they just completely turn them all off? Well, this is why they won't. Because they're in on all of it, and all of it glorifies their God and their agenda that we're getting to, this cosmic age to come about. And we just wonder all of this. Why is all of this? So we have missing children, right? And we're looking for them all the time. We got the posters. Well, I happen to know from my research, even though I have not been able to compile it yet on satanic ritual abuse, that most of those children went missing because they were used for those kinds of human sacrifice rituals. Yeah. And so they're gone. And that was from one of the high priestesses of Satan worship, who came out and became a Christian and gave that testimony. So just to address this is why. Like, this is so why. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Stephanie. That is why Diddy and those rituals and abuse steals that victim's soul and what he was doing by his abuse of kids and others. They will always use kids, and we'll see why. Okay? Not always, I guess, but basically kids are kind of like their best kind of victim. All right? So I hate to have to spell that out, but I kind of need to put the whole picture together. So,
well, because Satan, he wants to pervert and corrupt everything that God has made pure. And children are as close as you can get to purity. I mean, Jesus said, you must become like little children to inherit the kingdom. So the best thing that they can do to get the most power from Satan and demons is to go to do the worst thing you can ever think to do. Hurt a child. And on this slide here where it talks about trauma opens portals, and this is what MK Ultra is all about. It actually says MK Ultra right there. That's why these celebrities who sell their souls to be gods on earth, like Britney Spears and all of them, they go through this trauma-based mind control, MK Ultra, where their minds are fragmented so that they can be easily controlled by the spirits to be puppets, Illuminati puppets, to the world, to brainwash humanity into falling into all kinds of satanic traps. Like over the years, it's just been a downward spiral. We talked about that with the satanic sitcoms. It was little subtle things in the beginning, like Lucy lying to her husband or whatever, and then it just gets worse and worse to like Al Bundy hates his wife. It's always about trying to manipulate the minds of the masses, desensitizing us to what is right, what is wrong, and everything becomes normalized to where it's like, well, yeah, of course families don't stay together and husbands hate their wives and they long to be with another woman, and the daughter is a whore and all these things. That's normal, right? So these people who have sold their souls, they're doing it under the contract that we will push a message, and that message is sexuality, the occult. Just listen to what like Britney Spears sings about, and Katy Perry with Dark Horse and all this witchcraft and all this stuff, Lady Gaga. All this stuff is because they sold their souls under this contract. They're being used by demons, and it's all with this fragmented mind, making them susceptible to with MK Ultra and all this stuff. So in this research that we've looked into, we think that this might even be where some of these, I don't know, more modern mental disabilities come from. Things that you didn't hear about 50 years ago. Being on the spectrum and things like that. These could be things that the elites have been using humanity like a guinea pig or a petri dish, and all those injections you get when you're born and whatever they're putting in the food and the water and the air and all this stuff is creating I don't want to say a race, but creating a sect of people who are more easily controllable. Satan wants this. Satan is trying everything since the Garden of Eden. How can I take over God's creation? How can I corrupt it? How can I pervert it? How can I possess it? And he's gone so far as to manipulating people's genes, fragmenting their minds, and all the stuff that we participate in, the music we listen to, all that stuff has an effect on our mind. And pornography and all this stuff. They can look at the brain of a porn addict and they can see the damage that it's caused. All this stuff is allowing it. This is just like proof that you can see how Satan is getting into your life.
Yeah. And I will get there a little bit more too, down into media and everything. We ask ourselves why the media has so much junk in it. Well, that's how they showcase everything at once. Pandora's box is unleashed to every person to see all the abominations of the world to become like them. It's imitation that they're wanting.
Yeah, it's the knowledge of good and evil, something God never wanted us to take part in.
Right. Okay. So let's continue. The Golden Age and Trump. The idea that Trump ushers in the Golden Age is deeply rooted in New Age and Luciferian ideology, not biblical truth. His presidency has been symbolically tied by some to the rise of the Phoenix, QAnon Gnosis, and the Age of Aquarius. Golden Age in occult language doesn't mean Christ's reign. Listen closely. Isn't that interesting? It actually means Lucifer's counterfeit utopia, a time of false peace before total control. Think the Antichrist system.
Yeah.
The Alchemy Gold announcement is symbolic. They're telling you the great work is reaching its climax.
Wow. Yeah, we're there. I mean, if anybody was ever doubting the signs of the times, I mean, 2025 is a year where nobody has an excuse anymore. I mean, years ago, the distractions, the lack of information, whatever it was, there was a potential for ignorance, but not anymore. I mean, the signs are everywhere.
Right. Okay. So we just have to keep digging into this because it's going to keep giving us little nuggets to connect. So, esoteric or spiritual gold. This is the real goal of occult alchemy. The enlightened gold-like man is what the serpent promised in Eden. You shall be as gods. Genesis 3, verse 5. Lead represents fallen man. Gold is the perfected God-man. This is deeply Luciferian and linked to, this is an interesting tidbit. You should take note of this. It is linked to and mentioned in the Kabbalah, Hermeticism, Gnosticism, Crowleyan magic with a K, that means sex magic, Masonic initiation. Yes, that is true. I have actually heard, again, I have the video on survivors actually being able to testify that this is true. But whether literal sacrifice is used or not, the energy source is demonic, and many do rely on ritual abuse, trauma, and sex magic to unlock ascension. So, can you achieve occult enlightenment or spiritual gold without perversion, sacrifice, or rebellion against God? Absolutely not, this article says. According to Aleister Crowley, one cannot do that.
Right. It makes sense, because why is Satan going to empower you if you're not fulfilling his mission, which is to destroy and corrupt God's creation? And so when he offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, which he still has the authority and power to do, he's the God of this world, Satan is, he said, bow down and worship me and I'll give you everything. He's still offering that offer today, and many people are taking that. Most of them are in the elite world. They're literally living like gods. And most of them that I've seen in interviews and stuff, at least years down the road, they start to, what's the right word?
Divulge?
No, reject. I don't know why I can't think of the word right now. They start to regret that decision.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be like. I pictured, like, fame and fortune, and I get to do it. And these people are slaves. Yeah. Literally slaves.
Yeah, they say, I'm not as happy as I thought I was. I thought if I had money, I'd be happy and fame. Or
I can't trust anyone. I don't have any true friends.
I didn't know that I wouldn't be able to go out anymore.
Right.
Stuff like that. So.
It's crazy, man.
Okay. The idea of portals. Now, we already mentioned that, creating portals, unfortunately, in someone by causing trauma. But here's a different kind that we have to be aware of. It says, the idea of portals aligns with real documented occult symbolism and the beliefs of many high-level initiates in Luciferian Saturnian, and mystery religion systems, which connects with this golden age and cosmic egg and how it is to be brought about. So listen up. Here, they're going to also showcase a truth bomb that connects with this. These happen through black cube portals or altars of Saturn. The black cubes, all right, if you have been paying attention in most of our life here, we've seen large black cube monuments appear across the world, such as listed here at New York City in the UN Meditation Room, in Mecca with the Kaaba, Australia, Germany, Denmark, and more. Even in Saturn-themed art and tech branding, you'll see that in a minute. But these are not random. They are altars or portals in occult belief connected to Saturn worship. So now we have the element of Saturn worship coming into this. Okay? Yeah. So stick with me, and we're going to see some examples of how this works. So these are the exact pictures from some of these places. Just so you guys know, they are real. They're there. I hope that you have seen them before. All right. And they are in branding. Like they were mentioning, they actually, if you really pay attention to branding, it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere.
Yep, there was even a console, a gaming console called Sega Saturn. And interestingly enough, inside Mecca, where all the Muslims circle around that big black cube in prayer, inside of there is a meteorite, some black fallen rock, black rock. And it's just crazy. This whole lure about this thing fell from heaven, and it's satanic. It's like the fallen angel, you know?
However, once you mention that connection, if you've been with me on some of my other episodes, you will realize that the priests of Cybele always wore a black meteorite around their neck because that was a symbol of their devotion. So now we're starting to understand that that's right. It's here to stay, and it's actually being used today as well. It is in the Transformers, like someone mentioned. It could possibly be on Trump Tower. I haven't looked at that, but it is used in so many places.
Yeah, I mentioned a game system called Sega Saturn. There was also a black cube called Nintendo GameCube. The reason that these gaming systems use it so much is because how many people in the world are literally controlled by these games? I mean, video games is one of the strongest addictions we have today.
Yes.
I mean, I see grandmas with their phones sitting there playing Candy Crush and stuff, just consumed.
Yeah, and almost every device, just to put that out there, every device is actually shaped in a square or a symbol like that because it comes from this cube of Saturn type of idea. But just to know a little bit about Saturn worship, he's called the Great Father Time. These are a few depictions. You can see the Star of Moloch there, which is one of his symbols.
Yeah, that's a picture that's on a Book of Solomon or something. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Okay, so it has a concise description here. It says the planet Saturn is known as the dark sun. Keep that in the back of your mind as well. Thus, the god Saturn is characterized as being cold, dark, and evil. In ancient Rome, he was the most evil of the gods. Also keep that in mind. Today, millions of people honor Saturn. He is the Hindu Brahma, the Wiccan Pan, the Zen Buddha, the Masonic Guotu, I don't know what that name is, and the Gnostic Demiurge.
Yeah, the Demiurge.
Ultimately, Saturn is Satan, but in antiquity, he was a deified Noah. He is symbolized by the Magin, David, the Black Cube, Santa Claus, and we have the day Saturn Day or Saturday for him. Okay. So this is, I hope, going to connect very easily for you. But they believe that they are going to, in the end, produce a result of bringing their God, this golden age will bring about their God through the portal, who will actually be with them on earth that they will be elated to have. And it's supposed to be through blood sacrifice, unfortunately. And this is why. Because the belief system works like this, they say. Number one, blood is energy. Occultists believe that life force is in the blood. This is echoed in Leviticus 17, verse 11. They're just using it very twisted.
Yeah.
So, number two, mass death feeds the spirits. Blood rituals, especially involving innocence and trauma, open portals or thin the veil in their belief.
This also goes for wars that we know are manufactured.
Yes, that is true too. And the black cubes equals Saturnian altars. They are symbolic gateways between our realm and theirs. Number four, a golden age is the reward. That is their goal. Optimally, they want to bring it about. And it's after the purification by death and chaos, the new age God manifests physically.
Wow.
This is echoed in, this is interesting that they mentioned this, Bohemian Grove rituals, Crowleyan Thelema magic, Jesuit mystery rites, Luciferian New World Order goals. Yes, they've been talking about this for a very, very long time.
So if Helen Blavatsky and Alice Bailey, actually I don't know if both of them have, they both talked about the golden age, but Helen Blavatsky talked about this externalization of the hierarchy in 2025.
Yes.
And that's literally what's happening right here. When you look, it says that they're wanting to bring in a manifested God, a new age God, physically into our world in the golden age. And Trump is announcing it. We're in the golden age.
Yes. While I'm thinking of it, because it's been on my mind too, thank you again, Stephanie, for that question. What's Guatu? When it said Masonic Guatu, when I read it, this is actually the great architect of the universe in Masonry when they speak about it. That's why the G is in the compass, square and compass.
Good question.
Yes.
So is this going to get into CERN? Are you going into CERN at all?
Actually, no.
So I want to mention that's what CERN is all about. The CERN, the Hadron Collider, where they have Shiva the Destroyer out there and the workers there. They've done all these crazy ritual dances. And there's another Hadron Collider in another country where they had an opening ceremony where all these people were basically walking out like zombies, naked and all seeing eye on an LED screen and all this stuff. These literally are rituals. I don't know why people think this is just, oh man, it's just artistic expression. It is creepy to watch these opening ceremonies. The word ceremony means a religious activity.
Yeah.
And so they have these strange ceremonies that are definitely satanic and occultic. And this Hadron Collider, there's been so many testimonies of people that say when they work around those things or there was a college that had to store some black matter or dark matter or something in the college, and people were saying they were having spiritual encounters and stuff. I believe these things are literal stargates. I don't think it's a coincidence either that Trump has signed for this stargate to happen, which is artificial intelligence surveillance. And now we have CERN turning lead into gold, which is symbolic of the golden age, which is about alchemy, which is sorcery. All of this
and these
is tying together.
These cubic altars.
Yeah.
Yes. The Stargate. Yes.
This is all initiation to bring Satan into our world as the cosmic Christ. And the people who worship him, well, they're going to just see their God here. And all the Christians who are expecting Jesus to come back, they're going to believe this is Christ. And all the New Agers, they're going to believe it's, what's the one? Can't remember the name of them right now. But everyone around the world are going to see Satan as their God that they've been waiting for. The Jews, they don't even believe that Jesus is the Messiah. So they're waiting on a Messiah. It's going to be the Messiah to them. It's going to be Maitreya to the New Age. It's going to be Christ to us. It's going to be this cosmic Christ to these other occultists.
Yes.
Or Lucifer. They'll believe it's Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was an angel of light that's trying to free humanity. So all around the world, people are ready to, they're waiting for a spiritual entity to come and save us from this chaos that the elites have manufactured.
Yes. And someone asked about abortions, if that is them adding to the blood rituals. Yes, it is a form of
100%.
that. For sure. Someone else also had another question I wanted to...
This one?
No. Oh, yes. Gaming systems, like I mentioned, they're always a cube of some sort.
Yep.
Always. So.
GameCube, Saturn.
Okay. So, here's where it goes deeper. And again, we have to understand the level to which this goes to for them. For the dark elite, they believe that the world must be, and hear me out, they believe it must be ritually purified by chaos, war, and blood. That children's suffering is the most potent source of energy, which echoes of adrenochrome rumors, but is deeper. The coming of their God requires a total inversion of God's order, gender, family, sexuality, law, and worship. Lots of bloodshed. And I mean lots. I didn't put it on here, but there was like an article that mentioned and showed in some ways their depiction of just bodies strewn everywhere and rivers of blood everywhere to accomplish this portal to open and the golden age to come.
I want to read Revelation 14:20 because this was a connection with what Aubrey just said about the blood, how much blood. This is a fulfillment of prophecy in Revelation 14:20, and it says, "And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress even unto the horses' bridles by the space of 1,600 furlong."
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about blood as tall, as high up. If you could fill the earth as high up as a horse's bridle.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is all at one time. This has been Satan working over the years, killing in his name.
Right. And so if you add that up, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been thinking about it because I always thought, oh, we'll know when that time comes, when the blood is really high. But you know what? I'm thinking in some ways we don't because they're hiding it so well. When they take these children, it's secret. We don't know about it. We don't know what really happened to them a lot. They use all the blood. They're doing whatever. It can go through the sewer system and they use slaughterhouses as well.
Consuming it.
And they're tunneling. Yeah, they consume it a lot of the time in their rituals as well, but they can channel it to different areas underneath the cities and so on that we don't even know about. Yeah. So we could be in that time period and not even know it. Like that McDonald's commercial of finding, let's just go ahead with it. It was like baby parts in the nugget that one woman gave her child. Yeah. And why a lot of people are not eating at McDonald's now, and it was found in a different restaurant as well. So I think they're wanting us to also consume the remains of these people and the blood. And so they're channeling it into different food sources perhaps that are processed. And like I said, channeling it into different pathways under the ground so we don't even see a lot of this happening yet. But that made me feel like we really need to be very close. We are close to the end.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't even know it. This is some of the secretism or secretiveness that will be kept from us, I think, so that we are tempted to think it is not upon us yet.
Yep. And remember, when we're talking about these elitists, these occultists who sold their souls to Satan and all that, we're talking about the people that rule the world, whether politically, through music, or whatever, entertainment industries. Remember, these people, Gwen Stefani, Lady Gaga, all these people that have been seen at these spirit cooking parties. And that's stuff, that photos that have been leaked out. And just think about like what we haven't seen.
Yes.
The things that haven't leaked out, the photos that haven't leaked out, all this Diddy stuff that's coming out, all this stuff is surfacing now because it's too much. The Bible says that every secret thing will come to light in the last days. I think we're there.
Yeah. So to finish that slide off, we're down by the golden age is not peace under God, like they're going to portray it. It's Lucifer's counterfeit utopia, as I said before, after massive destruction. That is key, after massive destruction. These themes are even present in predictive programming. Movies like The Avengers, Prometheus, Eternals, Noah, Children of Men, etc. We have seen this.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the UN Meditation Room. If you have not seen it yet, that is quite something. It says, yes, the UN Meditation Room in New York is especially revealing. Inside is a monolithic black altar.
Wow.
It is black.
Cube.
Made of magnetite. The founder of it said it was for those who kneel before no visible altar. The room's proportions and lighting, now listen up, are occultic, intended to channel energy. Behind it is a mural described as abstract, but filled with esoteric symbols of sacrifice, birth, and the all-seeing eye.
Of course.
This is essentially a temple to Saturn, masked in secular language. Saturn worship can also be called the Black Sun cult. Man, that... I'll just leave you with that because when I looked it up, it got me down a whole rabbit hole. Like, I just studied that for days on end.
The Black Sun cult?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it opens up a whole another...
video?
I did get into it on a
Rain Man
different one. Yeah. So the Black Sun, here's a few tidbits I'm giving you. Schwarze Sonne is actually what the SS for Hitler's army stood for. And is an occult symbol representing the invisible or esoteric sun. This is important as well. It's a hidden light or Luciferian source of knowledge. It is linked with Saturn worship. As we saw with the black cube, that Saturn worship, the black sun is also linked. Another piece of the puzzle comes to light. This is Kronos, father of the gods, devourer of children. Also solar eclipses, when the true sun is overshadowed. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
They're going to break it down right now. Negretto is a term also called the dark night of the soul in alchemical transformation. In occult systems, the black sun eclipses the visible sun, symbolizing the inversion of true light, Christ, with the false light of Lucifer. Okay, and that's going to be meaningful in just one more step here, because you're going to see how it all connects. That will bring us full circle suddenly. Okay, here we are. When the world unites in Sunday worship, especially under a coming one world religious system, it will appear good. That's what this golden age will also bring.
Yeah.
But in truth, it will be a ritual of false light, preparing the way for the manifestation of the Antichrist, the beast system that replaces God's commandments with man's authority. Like it says here, he shall think to change times and laws, which is exactly the role of Saturn. He is the father of time and laws. Yeah. Okay?
Wow. So yeah, I mean, you just read that, Daniel 7:25. If you guys haven't heard this, this is a prophecy about Satan, the Antichrist, the whole beast system that's coming. And it says, he shall speak great words against the Most High. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and a dividing of time.
Yes.
And the only law of God that also relates to a time is the Sabbath commandment.
Right.
What is the only commandment that Christians have been tricked into rebelling against and saying, we don't got to keep that one? You know, we even saw recently Ray Comfort from Living Waters saying that we don't have to keep the Sabbath. I mean, this guy goes up on to people on the street. He debates them. He's witty. He's quick to respond to people and make atheists like think, make their wheels turn. And then he confronts them with the 10 Commandments. Are you a good person? Well, the 10 Commandments say you're not. And yet a person like that, as much of a Christian, ministry-minded Christian that he is, still will put out videos that say, well, we don't have to keep the Jewish Sabbath, the 4th commandment.
Right.
It's mind-boggling. I can't understand it, but this is how the dragon is going to deceive the entire world. Revelation says the dragon deceives the entire world, and it's all going to be under this one world religion of coexist. And like I said, every kind of religion is going to see their own God. And this guy who's a Christian, Chris Bledsoe, believes that Hathor is the Holy Spirit. So just imagine when we are faced with the externalization of the hierarchy, when we are faced with heathen deities manifesting in our world, we're going to have to rethink everything. If you're not grounded on the truth, you're going to have to believe what your senses say. And there's going to be a lot of deception out there. Like, look, you guys are dividing over something. It's all the same. The Egyptians, they believed in God. The Babylonians, they believed in God. The Christians, the Catholics, we all believe in God. You guys are dividing over something. We need to unite on this. We all believe in God. Look, he's here. Like the Messiah is here, and you're dividing over these things. And this is why it's going to look so much like the truth, because it's based on peace and safety. It says when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. But this is what we're racing towards right now. We had our season of chaos. These people make order out of chaos. It's not over yet. I mean, we still got aliens are coming and all this stuff, quote unquote aliens. But we're going to start seeing some things that we've never seen in our entire life. We're going to be faced with things that we've never had to face. Supernatural beings performing lying signs and wonders and miracles, even healings. And we're going to have to understand, no, Christ is never going to set foot on the ground until after the millennium. Like when he comes, like lightning flashes from the east to the west, the dead in Christ are going to rise first, and the living righteous are going to be caught up to meet the Lord in the air together.
That means he stays in that cloud. He never steps foot on the ground.
That's right. Until after the 1,000 years is finished. I know that's controversial because people think that there's going to be 1,000 years millennial reign on earth, but that's how twisted Satan has made these doctrines. He created a doctrine where Christians are actually looking for Christ to set up a perfect kingdom on earth for 1,000 years. It's going to be for eternity, but it's going to happen after 1,000 years. It's a big study, but basically read Revelation and you'll see where it says, after the 1,000 years is finished, the rest of the dead, the wicked, they're raised to life for their judgment. And that's when they're going to be thrown into the lake of fire. They're going to be consumed and gone forever. They're not going to burn for eternity. They don't have eternal life. They're going to be consumed in the lake of fire, the second death. Christ is going to wipe away all our tears, and he says there will be no more pain, no more sorrow. All that to say, Jesus said, when they say I'm in the secret chambers, don't go. When they say I'm in the desert, don't go. We're not looking for Christ to come set foot on earth. We're looking to be caught up to meet him in the air. If any supernatural being, I don't care how powerful, how miraculous they are, Jesus said don't go for a reason. It will be that deceptive.
Our senses, they say, as human beings, will be tested so heavily, even if you are a follower of God, to the point where seeing the Antichrist or seeing all this happen and their miracles and all this stuff happen that's attached will make us emotionally want to love this person and believe that he is God. That's why they even tell you do not go. Do not even tempt yourself with that. Just stick with truth and resist the devil. So go the opposite direction. I mean, it really does. It means we are going to be so questioning everything in our mind. And it says we will even doubt a lot, but we must stick with the truth that we know.
Yeah, because imagine you see all this and the majority of the world is believing it. We're going to be like am I being a fanatic? Am I being,
Yeah.
So I hope this is encouraging in some way. I know it was dark and things like that, but we are trying to wake up the sleeping giant. Like, Jesus is coming soon. I believe with all my heart. Like 2025 is the beginning of the end. We're seeing things clearer than ever. I mean, this is the strangest year ever, and it's only May, and we need to get right. We need to get our house in order. This is what we've been talking about on this channel. Like, get rid of the garbage that's consuming your time, that's warping your mind. Let's get in God's word more than ever before. Let's start planting gardens. Let's start appreciating our families and God's creation, and just enjoying life the way God created it. I want to start living now the way I plan on living in eternity. And I don't think that we're going to be playing video games all day and watching raunchy entertainment. And so we just want to encourage you, get in God's word now more than ever. Get in prayer. It's the only way to overcome. Jesus, when he was tempted in the wilderness, he fought him back with, it is written, it is written, it is written. It's the sword of the Spirit. It's the only weapon we have against Satan.
Right.
If you guys like this video, if you're blessed by it, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this video get out into the algorithm. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss a single episode. We try to go live at least once a week and give you guys cool updates like this about what's going on in our world and how it ties into Bible prophecy. We want to make the Bible real to you. It's not just some ancient history book. It's happening now. Prophecy is being fulfilled every day. If you want to support this ministry, you can do so by going to CandidTruthOrg. We got Cashapp, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. We also have a Patreon that we haven't even advertised yet, but I know it might just be hard to remember sometimes to send a Cashapp every month or whatever. We did a Patreon so that'll be helpful to you guys.
Yes.
And if you like cool t-shirts, we got cool t-shirts. Go to CandidTruthOrg. That really helps us out. We get about $5 per shirt sale on there. I'm wearing one of them right now. Be cool. Use your brain. And that's what we like to do here on Candid Truth. We love you guys. We can't do this without you. We'll see you next time.